Now, it's time for the Melissa McFerrin Show, presented by Chick-fil-A. The show is supported by Regional One Health, the official health provider of the Memphis Tigers. Your Mid-South Chevy dealers, the official truck of the Memphis Tigers. The Tennessee Lottery, AutoZone, and MLGW.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the very first Melissa McFerrin Show of the year. Coach, congratulations on a very good start. I know it was not a good start to this year. You lost a couple of key players in Asia Jones and in Alyssa Dean, but in the meantime, you've patchworked. You've done an amazing, I think, of putting together all the different parts, and so far, so good.
Very kind of you, Dave. I said this to you earlier today. You're a Memphis guy. We love that because we're looking at the positive side. But in reality, you know, we did have a challenging start to this season. Number one, we graduated 4 seniors a year ago. Number two, we had some early season injuries for some people that we're going to count on. And number three, we've undergone some personal tragedies. So in trying to form this team, I think we had a team that was very unsure of itself early in the season. Obviously, we're on a short bench, but what I'm proud of is the development of our team and how our players are growing into roles and buying into the system and believing in who they are. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have some bumps along the way, but it means that our development is good and sound and solid at this moment.
Well, the proof is in the pudding of the development. All you have to do is look at the month of December. You won a bunch of games. You won 4 of your last 5 in that whole grouping. And folks, down went Vanderbilt. That's right. That's the first time in 29 years that you had knocked off the Vanderbilt Commodores. This was a team at the time that was getting votes in the top 25 of the AP. And frankly, you beat them up pretty good. If you'd hit free throws, this would have been a 30-point victory.
That's right. And we came back from Christmas feeling we had our entire roster. We had 9 people. 9 people in uniform, that's what we're going to have for the year. But we had Breerwater Cochran back, so we were solid at the point. We became solid at the 2 deep. 3 deep at the 3. And I think at that moment, we got comfortable in our roles. We understood what we were supposed to be doing. We didn't have to play multiple positions. We weren't playing on huge fatigue. And, yeah, the Vanderbilt game, that was a sweet one. So, and we controlled it really from the opening tip. Had great contributions from many, many players. We got the score up really high and kept their score really low.
Now, I got to tell you, I loved watching Ariel Hearns play and that group last year. But I think that Vandy game was one of my favorite games in the last few years. Here's what we got coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see highlights of that very Vanderbilt game, and it's fun. Don't watch free throws, that's all. The Tiger feature is a little bit about access, and they went to the West Cancer Clinic, and also you will meet Taylor Williams, the sweet shooting senior, and then there's the AutoZone road ahead. All coming your way on the Melissa McFerrin Show.
Watching the Melissa McFerrin Show, presented by Chick-fil-A.
Welcome back in. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, so you've been a head coach for a while now. You've been here for a while now, and I think this is a fair question to ask. Given the injuries and the way you had to develop guys, is this one of your toughest years?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. The uncertainty from graduating so many players last year and then the new roles that our players have had to assume. So we're looking at a player like Taylor Williams that we're going to see later, who has been an off and on starter throughout the course of her career, but now she's one of those main players that has to produce every night, and we really rely upon her for the three-point line and also on rebounding. But you're also going to see, as we mentioned right there, Cheyenne Creighton, who came in as a somewhat lacking in confidence junior, but is really growing into it. And then you're also going to see, I'm sure later on here, you're going to see Bria Elmore. And those really are our 3 key players, along with Breerwater Cochran at the point.
You got a freshman that's pretty good, too. She had a game this year of 21 points, 10 of 12 from the free throw line. So she's been outstanding. But let's face it, here's quickness, and look at that move. She was terrific in this game. But how many double-doubles have you now gotten out of Creighton?
Well, I think it was 4 in a row. I don't know for sure on the year, but I know that she had 4 in a row, and the 5th one she was close. But Cheyenne Creighton has become our player that demands a double team. A year ago, we said that she was like a third starter, but she wasn't ready emotionally to do that. this year she is. Now, there's more to come. She's going to have to make more adjustments in her game, but right now she's our player that we really rely upon for that double-double.
You see the double there, and wide open to Baich,
Right.
who did a pretty good job. She's coming along for
She's
you,
coming
too.
along. She had 10 and 7 for us last night, and we need that. That 4 position has been somewhat of a work in progress since Asia Jones' injury, but we've just got to keep working at it and keep developing.
Talk to me a little bit about Bria Elmore and how far she's come this year.
Well, I think in Bria's freshman year, it was a lot about work habits and learning the system. A year ago, she started to show some really good things, but her minutes were limited behind those 4 seniors. This year, she's a player that can stretch it. She can put it on the floor. She's probably only one of 2 players that can really create her own shot and create some things for other people by getting her feet in the paint. And we need her to be a double-digit scorer every night. Like I said, it's going to be Taylor Williams, it's going to be Cheyenne Creighton, it's going to be Bria Elmore, and then it's going to be Bria Water-Cochran, making sure everybody gets what they need to get.
And you've got some other folks that have stepped up and done a pretty good job. But when you're as shorthanded as you are, and I know in teams past, you really hung your hat on defense. When you know you don't have that many pieces of the puzzle to put in, do you become a little less aggressive, or are you more careful about foul trouble?
We are. We're trying to start games in more zone, or at least make and miss, so that we don't end up at foul trouble. We have a rule: if you get 1 foul, you go to the bench for the rest of the quarter, and we've got to do that because we can't afford to go down the stretch without having our entire roster. The other thing we've done is we're not playing nearly as much full court defense, but we still have to hang our hat on defense because we're not going to be a team that's going to be able to outscore everybody. So we've got to value the basketball, which, to your point, and this is something that you notice, our turnovers are way
Yes.
down.
Oh, I love
our
that.
shooting percentage is up, but right now our challenge is rebounding. So we've got to continue to work on that.
Well, I also love the way you share the basketball. As I look at your overall numbers here, more than half of your buckets come from assists. And that means, and we've seen good examples here, when Creighton, who had a good look there, it was a heck of a pass,
Right.
but when she's been doubled or tripled, she finds the open person. And that's the key to success.
We have always been a very unselfish team, and we just simply won't tolerate anything else. We know that playing together and creating good shots for each other and giving it up when we need to give it up are the way to be successful. And we have always had teams that have bought into that philosophy. Doesn't mean that we're going to score every bucket, but it means typically we're going to have the right person taking the right shot.
What in the world, and that's a great play by Cheyenne for sure, but what were you thinking about in this game? Because you're the underdog coming in,
Right.
and you're waxing them.
Well, we knew that, number one, if we could shut down the three-point line, we knew that we had a chance to beat this team. We shut the three-point line down incredibly well. We also shot the ball incredibly well. And anytime you can shut down a three-point shooting team, and you see Taylor Williams with that 3 right there, we shot the ball well, and we shut them down at the three-point line, which is their bread and butter. If you shut down the three-point line on Vandy, you're going to have an opportunity to beat them.
You know, I did notice when you were going through the line there, you shook hands with the head coach.
Yeah.
And then there was Carolyn Peck. We used to see her on ESPN. I think you might drive her back into being on TV with the way that
Well,
went.
it's really funny, I'll tell you this, because when we got that game after Stephanie White took the head coaching job at Vandy, she's a player that I recruited when I was at Ohio State.
Shh, you're not supposed to admit that.
I know, exactly. Carolyn Peck, who was ESPN, we actually went to ESPN and said, hey, you might want to pick up this game because one of your announcers, and they picked it up. So it worked out pretty well for us. They picked up the game, and 2, we got a win on national TV.
And that was a game, folks, that we really enjoyed reliving. We got to take a break. When we come back, you will meet Taylor Williams. Watch this move. Oh, yeah. Now, what's she like? You'll meet her in a minute.
The Melissa McFerrin Show, presented by Chick-fil-A.
Welcome back in for the Chick-fil-A Outstanding Player. And this outstanding young lady that is standing next to me is Taylor Williams. You are from Kansas City, not Missouri, but Kansas. So do you have this real affinity for the Kansas Jayhawks or the state of Kansas? What's the deal?
I don't like the Jayhawks.
Whoa. Why?
True Memphian right
It's
there.
just, I don't know. It's just something me and my dad kind of have. We don't like the Jayhawks. Mom went to KU, but
Ooh.
we just do not like the Jayhawks.
So who was your team besides Memphis, like growing up?
I'd probably say Duke.
Okay.
Duke women's basketball. We followed them a lot when I was little.
And what brought you to Memphis? How did you choose this school?
Well, first things first, I wanted to get away from home.
Okay.
Dad was kind of pushing me out of the house, like, you need to leave, you know. But when I was being recruited by Melissa, you know, we kind of talked about what do you want to be when you grow up, and, you know, her style of play. And I really liked her style of play, for one, and two, I love the city of Memphis. You know, it kind of felt like home when I first got here. And then my major is biomedical engineering. And
Whoa,
she was
you're
very,
serious.
yeah. She was very encouraging about, you know, without hesitation, like, oh, you can do it, you can do it. And I mean, that's what I fell in love with, so.
That is hard, Melissa. Biomedical engineering and being a basketball player?
Well, you know, this is a funny story, but when I was in college, I had to change my major because I was an athlete. And I feel very strongly about that these young women, they're going to play basketball for 4 years, maybe 6, maybe 8. But they're going to use this degree for the next 40 years of their life, if not more. And I want to make sure that these young women are very accomplished and they get to do what they want to do in life.
So this has got to be a little weird for you. Now all of a sudden you got pressure. You got the academics, Ariel Hearn's gone, Asia's gone, all these great players are out of here. How's this year been for you?
At first, it was a lot of, like, it was very overwhelming because it was like, oh my gosh, now you're stepping into the leadership role. Now you have to, you know, show the underclassmen how it, you know, what it takes to be a college basketball player, how much your work ethic has to be, and not only for academics, but, you know, what Melissa demands of you every day. So it's been challenging, but, you know, you just got to embrace the moment.
And it had to feel good to, you know, not only beat Vanderbilt, but to watch the pieces come together the way they have.
Yeah. I think our team, you know, we had a little tweaks with identity at first, but I think now we're getting to the adjustments of, you know, what we can be like as a family. So.
Have you always been a really good shooter, or were you a great high school player?
She's pretty good.
Yeah, that was my thing.
That
She was a
your thing?
point guard in high school, though. Point guard.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like being the shooting guard instead of being the point guard?
I don't think it really matters to me. I just like being out there. So
Taylor's a natural 3 for us, but we have played her all the way from 1, like when Bria Wilder-Cochran was out early in this year. I mean, I just throw Taylor in at the 1. Sometimes I throw her in at the 4 because she's a biomedical engineer. She can figure things out. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do when this is all said and done?
Go to grad school. That's first priority. Other than that, it could be med school. I don't know yet, but.
Well, we wish you the best. You know, Smith and Nephew, if you get to designing stuff, that's right here. We'll keep you in Memphis for a long. We need good people to stay.
Put a little Smith and Nephew plug out there.
Yeah.
That's true.
She did her internship.
Oh, you did
Smith
do
and
that?
Nephew,
I did.
Wow, I didn't know that when I said Smith and Nephew. Very good. We're proud of you. Good job.
Thank you.
That is Taylor Williams. We've got to take a break. Still to come, we've got Inside Access, brought to you by Regional One Health. It's all about giving back and learning about the other side. We'll take you all to the West Cancer Center in just a minute.
You're watching The Melissa McFerrin Show, presented by Chick-fil-A.
Welcome back to the Melissa McFerrin Show. So we've talked about what a great December it was. It has not been as good a start to conference play. You're 0-2. I don't know what it is about you and Temple, but if it's you and the Owls, it's overtime.
It's overtime. And 5 overtimes a year ago and overtime this year. Was really proud of our team. We lost the game, but that team was picked second in the conference. We took them to overtime. Had an opportunity to win it in regulation if we'd gotten a couple stops. Great execution. One by Taylor Williams to hit a 3, one by Cheyenne Creighton to hit a 3 to send it in overtime. We felt good about that game, even in the loss, but we had to address the boards. Went to Tulsa, got in foul trouble, didn't play well. So we put ourselves in a bit of a hole, but we've got UCF coming up on the road. And then, of course, we go to, we got Cincinnati coming back home. So we got to right the ship here. We know it's early, but we got to make a move early.
In the meantime, you're always teaching lessons, right? And one of those was to see what it's like on the other side and to learn and to give back. And so the Regional One Health Inside Access is all about a trip to the West Cancer Center.
Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing that it shows us is that West Cancer Clinic is an amazing facility, and what a great job they're doing helping all people in the Mid-South and across the country with their cancer care. You can tell that it's a family environment here, and you can tell that they really care about the patients, and they're just trying to help people get well or live a great quality of life. And what I hope our players gain from this is, number one, when you say cancer, that's a really scary word, and it should be a scary word, but we can't ignore people that have cancer just because it's an awkward feeling. We've really got to reach out to those people and welcome them into a place of comfort, and we've got to be able to pray with them, and we've got to be able to comfort them when they're not feeling well. And I just hope our players go away with a feeling that they can help regardless of the scariness of the situation. There were amazing Tiger fans. We got a lot of Memphis State in the building today, and a lot of people that care about the Tigers here. So hopefully in some small way we were able to make their day a little bit brighter, even in maybe what is a dark time for them. But we also got to celebrate with a couple people who it was their last day of chemo, and they're hoping that they're going home well.
Really nice trip.
Great trip. I have to tell the background of this. Danielle O'Banion, our associate head coach, who's returned to Memphis, is a cancer survivor and went through a year of chemo in fighting lymphoma. So she really spearheaded this. One of the other personal tragedies that we've dealt with this year is we lost a mother recently to cancer. So this hits very close to home to us, and we really enjoyed that trip, and maybe enjoyed isn't the right word, but it was a very fulfilling trip. Our players walked in somewhat awkwardly because you don't know how to approach that situation, but I hope they learned that comfort for other people is more important than the awkwardness that they might feel. And we walked away from that trip feeling very full emotionally, and that hopefully we shed some light on cancer and brought some light to the world.
I think it is a beautiful lesson. Many of us feel uncomfortable when we are in those situations. You have to learn, because it's part of life. You have to learn how you have to deal with that. That is for sure. Coming up, the AutoZone road ahead. It's Cincinnati, and they're an improved team. The AutoZone road ahead, one game, it's a tough one. Cincinnati in the El Marron, January the 14th at 1 o'clock, and they're better than they were.
Much improved team, 10-5. Fortunately, we have a week here where we can get healthy, maybe get our legs back under us, good preparation. Cincinnati comes here, we'll be ready.
And there always are. You love the American Athletic Conference. So that'll wrap it up for us. We will see you at the El Marron. That again, 1 o'clock on January the 14th. And then we'll see you here the next time. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for watching The Melissa McFerrin Show, presented by Chick-fil-A. The show is supported by Regional One Health, the official health partner of the Memphis Tigers. Your Mid-South Chevy dealers, the official truck of the Memphis Tigers. The Tennessee Lottery, AutoZone, and MLGW.